All right, first graders, we are back with science class. So we started talking about animals, right? And so today we'll be talking about something really interesting, and it's classifying animals. Classify. Yeah, some of the first graders might say, "Ooh, I know what classify is because we talked about this, and it is one of the science process skills to classify." Yeah, so what does it mean by classify? You can go back to that chapter to look for the meaning of it. Classifying animals. What do you think that means? Right, so to classify, it means to group things that are alike. Yeah, so for instance, Miss Jin could give you hundreds of marbles, and I ask you to classify the marbles by their color. So maybe then first graders can classify the marbles by red, blue, yellow, orange, green, and so on. So classify means to group things that are similar, that are alike. Yeah. And some ways that you can classify the things is you can classify by color or shape or size. Yeah, you can classify the objects by spheres or the ones that have flat surfaces or the ones that have curved surfaces, just like we talked about in math. Yeah, so that's what classify means. And we are going to classify animals. Mm, let's see how we are going to do that. So let's just take a look at the books all together. Adam named all the animals. We do not know the names he used. Scientists have names for animals too. These names help us classify animals. Scientists look at the parts of animals. They use these parts to classify animals. So, first graders, who named all the animals? Right, Adam. But do we know what Adam named the animals? Do we know all of them? No, we don't, right? And so scientists, they made names for animals. And what is one way scientists classify animals? How do they classify animals? Yes, they look at the parts of animals, different parts of animals. And that's how the scientists classify animals. Yeah. Okay, so the first animal we have here is fish. Yeah, let's take a look at the fish. Ooh, look at that. Okay. So a fish lives in water and has gills. A fish spends all its life in water. Yeah, they never come out to the ground or to the land, right? They spend all its life in water and they have gills. Over here, right here, you see this a little um, hole or gap here. So gills help fish breathe in water. This is how they breathe in water. Yeah. Have you tried breathing under the water when you went swimming? You can't because your nose get really hurt, right? And you drink up water of the swimming pool and it doesn't work. But fish, they are designed, they are created in a way they can breathe in the water. And what that is gills. Gills help fish breathe in the water. Mm. And also, we have enlarged picture of a side of the fish. You probably have seen these on the fish, right? Most fish, not all, but most fish have scales. These are called scales, and it covers their bodies. So most fish have scales that covers their body. Um, they are so fish's scales like this. They look like this, and they're very light. They're very light. It's like they're wearing really light coat over them. Yeah, they're very light, but they're very strong. Yeah, they don't come off easily. They're very strong and they overlap like this. They overlap each other. Yeah, that's what scales are. But some fish, like I just said, some fish they don't have scales, right? But other fish like sharks, they have scales, but they're so tiny, teeny, really small that we can't really see them. They're hardly noticeable. So some fish they just don't have scales at all, but some fish they have scales, but since they're so tiny, we can't really see them, but they do have scales. Okay. So first graders, where does a fish live? In water. Yes. And does living in water make an animal a fish? If an animal lives in a water, then is it a fish? Not every animal, right? So what are some other animals that live in water that are not fish? Some animals they live in water, but they're not fish. Can you think of some? Yeah, alligators or crabs, seals, snails, turtles, all the animals that Miss Jin just mentioned, they live in the water, but they're not fish. Yeah, so there are some fish who live in water, but not fish. Yeah, so just remember, fish they live in water and they have gills and scales, and they spend all its life in water only. That's fish. Okay, now, we are going to talk about birds. Birdie, Miss Birdie. Okay, so a bird is an animal with feathers and wings. Yeah, feathers and wings. Feathers help a bird stay warm. Feathers can also help a bird fly. God gave birds 2 wings. Some birds use their wings to fly. The ostrich is the largest bird. It has wings, but it does not fly. Okay. We have ostrich, we have robins. Okay. So let's talk about birds really quickly here. So what is a bird, you guys? What is a bird? Yes, it's an animal with feathers and wings. That's a bird. Okay. And what are 2 ways that feathers help a bird? How does feathers help a bird? Yes, feathers help a bird stay warm. They're wearing a coat over their body to stay warm. And feathers also help a bird fly. So feathers keep the birds warm and it helps birds to fly. Yeah. So guys, let's take a look at their body over here. Bird's body over here. So how is a bird's body different from most other animals' bodies? How are they different? Or from a fish even? Yeah, so birds have 2 legs. As you can see, birds have 2 legs and 2 wings. Yeah, instead of 4 legs. Yeah, so instead of 4 legs, birds have two legs and 2 wings. And how are they different from a fish? They're just so different. Yeah, everything is different. So a bird has feathers and wings, first of all, where fish, they don't have wings or feathers. And a fish lives in water and they have gills, and fish swim, but birds don't have gills or scales. Yeah, that's how they're different. And most of the birds they fly with their wings. Yeah, but ostrich is the largest bird and it has wings, but it does not fly. So there are some birds that cannot fly, even if they have wings. Okay. Um, but ostrich, they run really fast, as you can see. Ostrich can run really fast. Okay, so that's birds and mammals. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so let's just read what it says about mammals first. So most pets are mammals, and most farm animals are mammals. A mammal is an animal with hair or fur. Many mammals have hair or fur all over their bodies. Dogs and lions have fur all over their bodies. Some mammals only have small amounts of hair on their bodies. Elephants and whales have small amounts of hair. Okay. So, first graders, what are mammals? What are mammals? Animals with hair or fur. Yeah, animals with hair or fur. Can we name some animals that have hair all over their bodies? What animals have hair all over their bodies? Yes, dogs, lions, what else? Tigers, cows, horses, cats, giraffes. Yeah, there's so many mammals that have hair all over their bodies. What about some animals or some mammals that have only small amounts of hair on their bodies? Only small amounts of hair on their bodies. Yes, elephants and whales. What else? Dolphins. Yes, they do have small amounts of hair on their bodies. Pigs, right. And hippo, right. So these mammals, they are mammals, yeah, but they only have small amounts of hair on their bodies. Yeah. And what is this picture over here? The lion, right? And over here, the elephant, right? Okay, the question over here is what kind of animal has fur or hair? It's not bird. Birds have feathers, not fur. Yeah. Mammal, yes. Mammals have fur or hair all over their bodies. Okay. But remember, we have some mammals that only have small amounts of hair, like elephants, whales, dolphins, pigs, hippo, but they are still mammals. Okay. So let's do a quick review. Can you tell me about fish? What is fish? What is so special about fish? Right, they live in water and they have gills. Fish. Yeah. What about birds? What are birds? They have feathers and wings and they can fly. Yeah. And what are mammals? Yes, they're animals with hair or fur. And some mammals, they only have small amounts of hair, but they are still mammals. Okay, so first graders, go ahead and read these 3 pages again on your own so you have better understanding of what fish, birds, and mammals are. And now let's go ahead and take a look at this one over here. So let's classify animals. Fish, an animal that lives in water and has gills. Very good. Mammal, an animal with fur or hair. Bird, an animal with feathers and wings. Very good, awesome. When you're done, we are going to write F for fish, B for bird, M for mammal. Okay, number 1, what is it? Has fur, M, F, M, B, F, has gills and scales, and B, M, F,